What's up, guys? Dom here with Restricted America. Today, I wanted to go over why I think Massachusetts does not need more gun control and didn't need more gun control before this bill passed. As many of you may know, Massachusetts just passed an omnibus gun bill called H.4 885. It was just passed by the House, the Senate, and signed by Governor Maura Healey. If you haven't watched my other videos, there is a huge ongoing effort to stop this bill in its tracks. So definitely go watch those videos. I don't want to give away what I have said in them. So definitely go watch them. I'll try to link them in this video. But without further ado, I want to get into the reasons why Massachusetts does not need more gun control. So in preparation of this video, I actually wrote them down. I don't have an amazing memory, so excuse me if if I'm reading right off of my iPad here. So number one, existing laws are comprehensive. Massachusetts already has some of the strictest gun control laws in the country. I would say with this bill, it makes them the most stringent gun control laws in the country, including universal background checks, firearm licensing, and mandatory firearm safety courses. So number two is it already has low gun crime rates. I know a lot of people don't like that phrase gun crime, but that's just the phrase I'm going to be using. You can debate whether the state's existing gun laws have attributed to that, or if it's just a bunch of different things that contributes to that. Focus on enforcement rather than introducing new laws. Better enforcement of existing regulations could further reduce gun-related crimes. I firmly believe that could actually help a lot. A lot of these laws already on the books are not being enforced, especially with actual criminals. If they are being enforced, they're being enforced, unconstitutionally towards people that are law-abiding citizens, and they just get caught up in some stupid thing like owning an assault rifle. Whatever an assault rifle is, you can define that in the comments. Number 5 is obviously a huge one, Second Amendment rights. Number 4, criminals don't follow laws. Additional laws would primarily affect law-abiding citizens, while criminals typically do not adhere to gun regulations. Number 5 is a huge one, and that's Second Amendment rights. Increasing gun control measures could infringe on the constitutional rights of citizens to bear arms for self-defense and lawful purposes, and obviously Massachusetts has already done this for 30 to 40 years, and we've seen the consequences of that. We've been living under that longer than I can remember. Number 6 is self-defense needs. Law-abiding citizens should have the ability to protect themselves, their families, and their property, especially in rural areas where police response times can be longer. It's especially true of Massachusetts. You think Massachusetts is all urban, but it's not. There are a lot of rural parts, especially Western Mass, Central Mass, and parts of Southeastern Mass. And number 7 is obviously, this is a huge one as well, is burden on law-abiding citizens. More regulations could impose undue burdens on responsible gun owners, making it harder for them to comply with the law without significantly impacting crime rates. And you're going to see that big time if H.4 885 actually goes into effect. It's not going to lower crime. I would say it's actually going to increase crime, because it's making new criminal penalties for things that were not crimes before, and they're going to be primarily imposed on law-abiding citizens. So you're going to see that if this law goes into effect. A lot of gun shops have been talking about this. Toby Leary has been talking about this, how this how gun control affects his business. I would say, number 8 is definitely economic impact. Additional restrictions could negatively impact the firearms industry, including retailers, manufacturers, and associated businesses, leading to economic drawbacks. If H.4 885 sees the light of day, like it actually goes into effect, you're going to see a lot of gun shops close in Massachusetts. Not just shops that were already kind of on the brink, they weren't doing well. You're going to see those close really soon. But I'm talking about the shops that do pretty well currently, because you're going to see a lot of their business go away if this bill goes into effect. And that's why we're going to try to not let that happen. 9, I think education and safety programs emphasizing gun safety education and community programs could be way more effective in preventing gun accidents and misuse than new legislative measures. Um, I know people have been advocates for this a long time. I feel like we've kind of lost our steam with it a little bit. I know Goal is always advocating for this, for more training, for more, safety education on this. And I truly think more people should be educated with how to fire a gun, how to handle it correctly, how to store a firearm correctly, all these things. And number 10, I'd say put more of a focus on mental health. I know how left-leaning people respond to when conservatives say it's a mental health crisis, but in actuality, it is a mental health crisis. Their mental health problems are running rampant through this country, and I think Massachusetts has one of the lowest crime rates as it does. We don't really have mass shootings up here. We don't have violence in with firearms as much as the rest of the country. I think because we have access to such good, mental health care, we have, the best hospitals in the country right next to our doorstep, and I think addressing the mental health concerns would be huge, and providing better support and resources for those in need could prevent many potential tragedies without imposing new restrictions on gun ownership. And I also have statistics that support this. So, low rates of accidental gun deaths. Massachusetts has one of the lowest accidental gun death rates in the country. In 2015, there was only one accidental gun death in the state compared to 1,751 deaths from overdoses/poisonings, 732 from falls, and 416 from transportation-related accidents. And this is from a Goal Mass Gun Control report. And number 2 is ineffectiveness of existing laws. Despite having stringent gun control measures, Massachusetts has not seen a significant reduction in gun-related homicides since the passage of the 1998 Gun Control Act. In fact, the state's gun-related homicide rate has increased from 1.06 per 100,000 people in 1998 to 1.445 per 100,000 in recent years. This is also from a gun control report from Goal. Number 3, comparison with neighboring states. States with less stringent gun laws, such as New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont, have consistently lower gun-related homicide rates than Massachusetts. For example, New Hampshire's gun-related homicide rate is 0.5 per 100,000 people, significantly lower than Massachusetts' 1.45 per 100,000. This is also from Goal, a Goal Mass Gun Control report. And suicide rates, number 4. While Massachusetts has a low firearm suicide rate, the majority of gun deaths in the state are suicides. In 2019, nearly 3 out of 5 gun deaths were suicides, indicating that gun control measures aimed at reducing homicides may not effectively address the primary cause of gun deaths in the state. Number 5, educational and safety programs. Massachusetts has a strong tradition of firearm safety education provided by organizations like the Gun Owners Action League and the Hunters Education Program. These programs are funded by gun owners and have contributed to the state's low rates of accidental gun deaths. Number 6 is a big one, and I'm sure a lot of you agree with this. Inconclusive evidence on effectiveness. Research indicates that the effectiveness of various gun control measures such as background checks, extreme risk protection orders, and bans on assault weapons is inconclusive. These measures have not consistently shown a significant impact on reducing violent crime, suicides, or unintentional injuries. And that's coming off of RAND.org, and that's Research Gun Policy. So overall, this basically says that Massachusetts does not need more gun control because the gun control they've already enacted is not doing what they expected. So, in Massachusetts is one of the strictest gun control states. What are they going to do to fix that? They think adding more gun laws, gun restrictions is actually going to help. And I say it's the opposite. You have all these states around them like New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine that all have lower gun-related deaths than Massachusetts. How does that happen when you have when you supposedly have this one of the safest states in the nation? It doesn't make sense. Their arguments don't make sense. And that's why I made this video today. I just wanted to, inform you guys. I wanted to give you guys a little clarity on why, what is firearm advocates' actual stance. It's not just, hey, it's the NRA, you know, the NRA is getting into these people's heads like it's a gun lobbyist. It's not. It's actual logical arguments. It's not make believe. It's not, oh, I believe this and you believe that. No, it's actual facts. And the sooner we can get back to that, to factual information, these statistics, not just, oh, guns are scary, we can get to a better situation. We can get to be a better people. We can get to be a better civilization. So I want to thank everybody for listening to my rant. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you have any questions or concerns, put them down in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, do that now. And other than that, stay unrestricted.